Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Let me know if you can hear me. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, can
Good
hear
morning.
you.
Good
Alright.
morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to today's class. Can we please reach out to our classmates, our colleagues, that it's already 9 o'clock, and our facilitator is waiting for us because we only have 14 participants now, and we're expecting like 30 something participants. Can you help reach out to your colleagues? Let them know that it's past 9 already.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Okay, good morning. How
Good
are
morning.
we doing today?
Good.
Good, ma'am. Good, ma'am.
How was your 1 day break?
It was fine. It was fine.
Okay,
Yep.
so how many persons use that time to check out or have an overview of what product design is all about? I gave a
Yeah,
mini assignment. Okay, Aisha, are you saying something?
No, ma, no, ma. You asked that I
Oh,
did
okay.
check the
Oh,
classwork, and I said yes, ma. That was right.
oh, okay. So that means you'll be the first to tell me what you found out. Just like a brief summary of what you're able to get.
So I went through the Sigma app, and I got to understand from, because I'm actually new to the system. So like I've been like I did graphic design before, not really product design. So I get to understand from how will I explain this? I get to understand some things. Like I went through the virtual design, the colors, shapes and pictures. So I'm trying to um get used to the work. Then I tried that Notion, how to Notion to document my some works, but I did not really get that part. So, but I have someone that is trying to guide me through it. Sure.
Okay, nice.
Can
So
you,
thank you very much.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can still hear you.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So any other
Thank you.
person? Any other person?
Yeah. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Yomi.
Mine was I was only able to go through only my notes, the things you taught us, and basically just to see if what I can lay my hand on. So, but the notion wasn't opening, so like maybe you would have worked on it. So, and I check all this thing that is sent to us, uh, the links. So the one I got stuck more with was the YouTube. So trying to like follow some of the things that they're saying there, like getting used to the Figma interface.
Okay, great. I'm sorry about that Notion link. I just got to realize that it's email selective, so it's a boot camp. So I don't have access to share to other persons. So, but what I'm going to do is to look for a way to get it myself and share it. But for now, if I'm not able to fix that, I won't be able to share it. Okay, so let me share my screen. So for today, we'll be looking at heuristic principles. Then after heuristic principles, we'll now get to laws of UI, laws of UX. So that's where would if there's still time, we'll now start design thinking. So after that, we'll now dive into all the other parts that we need. From design thinking, we'll move to user research. From user research, user story, information architecture, user flow, then that's how we'll be taking it. So for today, we'll talk about heuristic principles. And what are heuristic principles? So it's very simple. I just want you to put this in your head. First, you don't need to cram the whole heuristic principle concept because if you type cramming it, you might not really know how to do it. So what I tell people is, for heuristic principle, all you need to do is know how to apply them, because you would apply them at every instance. So if you want to design, so I call it my fault finder. As a product designer, you use heuristic principles to find faults. Although it's not necessarily faults, you also use it to look for better designs. So now what are heuristic principles is just a rule of thumb that helps us to know good designs and bad designs. So you're using this principle or the evaluation to check if a product meets all the requirements. Now we have 10 principles that was outlined by Jacob Nelson. You get to know the term. So just try to know it, because knowing what it is. One thing you need to know is you need to always use it. So it's just like you in accounting, we audit account. So it's just like auditing any website or any mobile app that you have. So the number one principle is called the visibility of system status. So what does this mean? It's just about telling your user, keeping your users informed at every point in time. Now, if you go on Jumia.com and they are doing a sales, say they are doing a particular sales and the sales is like 5 days, you will see that there's always a countdown. It's telling you 4 days left, sorry, 4 days left, 3 days left, 2 days left, 1 day left, 24 hours left. So now that's them. It's not like they just want to do it. That's them keeping their users always informed of what is happening. You need to tell your users if there is network glitch, you need to tell them network is disturbing. If it's frozen, you need to tell them that, okay, the app is frozen. If you need to do like a system upgrade, you need to keep them informed. Now, keeping them informed does not mean that you must do it on the app. You can look for emails or any other thing. That's why you see if your bank wants to do a checkup or anything, they'll send you email and tell you from social time to social time the website will not be working or the app will not be functional. Now, these are things we always need to do. It's all about communication. You need to communicate every time to your users. Let them know what is happening. If there's an important action that is going on, they should be able to know. So that's what the visibility of system status is all about. So the keyword you need to know is information, communication. That's the keyword. Anything you're doing, if a product is remaining two, so I'll be switching between my notes and pictures. So I'll be switching between my note and pictures. Now just look at this picture. You can see that this is an e-commerce platform. If you check here, you would see final sales to tell you that this red is trying to tell you that they don't always do these sales every time. This red is also telling you that the price is not, this is not the original price, but because they are doing a sale, they have to do it. So once it's no longer available, they would remove it. So you can also see messages, this item is out of stock. So if I want to order for this, I just know that it's out of stock. I end up not ordering for it. This is another picture that's going to give you an idea of what you're doing. You need to tell users about everything they are doing at every point. So if you saved their application, you tell them that it has been saved. If they've submitted it, you tell them. If you've checked it, you tell them. If you've verified it, you tell them. You tell them if it's this. If we do like this in let's say we want to so you reported something to a bank, and on your app you can see that yes, the query, they've sent the message to the appropriate quarters. For quarters it has been approved, then you can come and start using your bank. Like it's something like that. You just need to tell your users what is happening at every point in time. So let's go back. That's the visibility of systems, status.
Sorry, your voice keep going on and off.
Are we okay?
No, sorry, you're breaking.
Yeah, your network is actually not strong. It's breaking. Can barely hear what you're saying.
Oh, okay. So can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you.
Oh, so I was asking if we are good. No confusion. Okay. So let's assume that there is no confusion. So the next one is match between system and the real world. So the only thing you need to just put in your head is when you're designing, make sure that you design something people can relate with. So let's say you use terms and icons and images that people can relate with. Now, let's take for instance, if you look at a normal Windows laptop, and not just Windows laptop, any laptop you check or any computer, if the word recycle bin or bin, the icon is normally a normal waste bin. Who has noticed? Yeah. So the two persons and Ebere, your hand is up. Oh, okay, yeah. So you notice that they use recycle bin because that's what we know in our real world to be. Aisha, do you want to say something?
No, ma'am. I don't answer to your
Okay.
question.
Oh, okay. So it's because they know that in the real world, that's what we know as a waste bin. So bringing it to the tech world or to our computer, they want you to be able to recognize this thing without actually thinking, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? Is it the right thing to click, or is this not the right thing to click? Now let's say, for instance, if you want to buy if you want to design a home button, now there's something you do. You notice that we use this home icon to represent it. The same thing as favorites. You use hearts to represent it. You use all of those icons that people can relate with. For search, we use magnifying glass because what is magnifying glass is something that if you look in it, we would see. We use the magnifying glass because would be able to see what we can do with it. Sorry, please just give me some minutes. Something pop up on my screen, so I need to clarify the. Okay, sorry for that. So if we want to use if we want to design search, we want to say, okay, this is search. We will notice that it's going to be a magnifying glass. So it's the same thing generally. So just try to, this whole principle is telling you that you should match between the system and the real world. People should be able to look at your system and say, okay, this is what this particular icon means without getting to confuse themselves. Now, it's not just about your icons, it's also in your words, both in text and in visual. They need to understand what you mean by with anything that's on your platform so they don't get themselves confused. Now, the third one is user control and freedom. Now, what this means is you need to give your users control, as much control as possible for them. So you need to always give them the opportunity to go back or cancel anything that they don't want to do. So let's say that's why you see people design. So I design something. Let's say I design a checkout screen. I should be able to put a cancel X button and say, okay, let's move this. I don't want this again. I don't want to do this. I should be able to go back. I should be able to do all of those things because you need to give me control over what I am doing. So it's not like it's not like I it's not like I'm being forced to use the app when I don't want to use it. So that's what this law is all about. So let me show us something, a picture. Now let's look at this. Now these are ways that you can give your users control over a particular system. First, you need to use backlinks. Now, what are backlinks? Can you see this? This is a backlink. So a user should go back, should be able to go back all of that. You need to give your users a cancel button for them to be able to exist any tasks they want to do. You need to also give them a close button. A close button. This is a backlink. You need to give them a close button so that they can be able to leave a particular thing that they don't want to see, and an undo option. So that's why you see that our keyboard have Ctrl Z, Ctrl X, and all of those things, so that you can undo and redo when you don't want to do it. Now, the next law we talk about is consistency and standard. Now, what is consistency and standard? It's just like, for instance, if you want to design something, you need to be consistent across all board. Now, let me use a popular example. Who has if you're using Google Docs or any of those Google products, from Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, all of those products, there's something you notice. You notice this even for Microsoft Word. Like they all have the same interface, and now that's called internal uniformity or internal consistency. Now this is when, if you're building a product or a family of products, you just get to use the same kind of interface for all, so that any person that is coming, any person that is using, now the whole idea is, if I'm using Google Docs today and I don't want to use Google Docs today and I want to migrate, I want to try to use Excel, I will still not find it very difficult to navigate the Excel screen. It will just be like the same knowledge I have from Google Docs is the same knowledge I'm using. So that's internal consistency. When we're talking about consistency, we'll consider the internal consistency also. Then we have the external consistency, which is like what every graphic designer would tell you, that if you're designing, your design should be consistent, not just graphic design, even in product design, your design should be consistent. If you're using a button of 4 pixels, everywhere across board, anywhere I see your button, it should be 4 pixels. If I'm using, let's say, if I'm using my header text to be 3 pixels, anywhere I turn, it should be 3 pixels. So you should not use 4 pixels here, and when you are going to another place, you are using another kind of pixel. So that's external uniformity. So if you're using blue as your normal color, you should be able to use that color all through without trying to bring in different colors. So if that's your primary color, blue should be your primary color across all boards. Now, the different consistency layers that we have, you need to be consistent in your visuals. So your symbols, your icons, your image, all of these things you are using should be consistent. You also need to be consistent in your layouts of your page and your buttons. I've already talked about that one. So your page, your buttons, your call to action buttons should be consistent. That's why in design, there's something we call, in product design, there's something we call style guide. When we get to that point, this is where you gather everything you need for your designs, from your icons to your colors to your text to all of that. You save them and keep. So if you want to use your primary color, you just need to click and add your primary color. So with that, across all boards, you also get to do different things that you can use over and over again, your buttons and all of that. Then another place you need to be consistent is your user-generated information. Now, so instead of always typing dates, phone numbers, all of these inputs should be consistent. We all know that if you want to do something for dates, you need a date picker, right? You need a date picker to be able to do what you need to do. Now, for you to be consistent with that, you would need to save all of this calendar picker and everything, so that when you're doing it, you can use it over and over again. Now, the fifth principle is what we call the error prevention. Now, you need to use good error messages to be able to communicate problems and errors to your users. Now, we have two types of errors that every user can make. The first one is sleeps. Now, sleeps is the kind of error that you make when you're not really paying attention to what you're doing. Now, they are unintentional. Why mistakes are like deliberate. You did it while you are trying to do something. Now, let's say, for instance, for this, I feel like our banking system, we've not even gotten to that point of giving us good error prevention. Because how will I want to recharge 200 naira for my app, or I want to recharge 2,000 naira, and I am typing, and because I was not paying attention, I typed 20,000 naira, and there is no message coming up to ask me, are you sure you want to recharge 20,000 naira? Or let's say a signal or a noise, a kind of beep that will make me know that, okay, you've gone. So they should be able to look at people's normal spending level and say, okay, this person uses 200 naira, this person charges 200 naira. So the day I'm putting 2,000 naira, you should be able to look at my history and maybe a sound, a noise, like an alarm to make me see that I'm doing something. So I will not check well, because sometimes I might be charging from my phone and I'm not paying attention. Okay, so sometimes I might be recharging from my phone and I'm not paying attention and all of those things. And I'll make the mistake. And I'll make this kind of mistake. So banks and other platforms should be able to give us this particular principle where we should be able to prevent problems from happening. Now, how do you help prevent? How do you prevent problems? You can prevent by including constraints. That means you can use what's it called, a red button, or anything you want to do to be able to fix that issue. Also, another place you can see that particular issue is when you're trying to book a flight, or you're trying to book a bus. Have you noticed that if you want to book a bus or anything, and let's say you want to pick a date, there's something they do. If that date is not available, they'll put it you can't click that date. So that's another way you can help your users to prevent errors. So if that's not going to be there, they should place it there as a stamp, put badge. If you're trying to book a Agofere or any of this bus platform, you see that if you need to choose a seat, you would see a badge, a red a sign telling you that this seat has been taken. So you don't get to use that same, you don't get to pick it, you have to pick another one. So that's what this particular principle is. So I need to be sure that we are following this so that I don't get to go
We are
so far
following.
and at the end of the day.
We are following.
Okay.
Yes, well,
Oh, okay. So um the next law we'll be talking about is, okay, we've talked about error prevention. The next law we'll be talking about is recognition instead of recall. Now, one thing you need to know is, as humans, we have so many things in our head at the same time, and we have short-term memory. That's actually something that is very good. So you need to limit what you want to tell your users. Now, when I say limit, you should not hide the important information from the users. Now, a good example is a form field with label inside. Now, one thing you need to know is, sometimes when you open a form field and you see enter your name, once I start typing, you would see that enter your name will disappear. So if the user goes to another point, you would see that it would still, if I go to another distance, it will still be the same process. So recognition instead of recall, you need to help them to be able to recognize something instead of recalling it. Now, this is also in when you're trying to use, remember the first one, use real life. You have to
Can't hear
use the
you.
real life scenario to almost the same. So you need to ensure that they don't forget what. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we
Yes,
can
ma'am.
hear you now, but you went off at a time.
Can you hear me? Easily
Yes,
forget. Okay, your users can easily forget something. So instead of you to always make them forget these things, you should be able to help them to recognize these things anytime they come to it. Now we have flexibility and efficiency of use. Now you need to allow users to use the product their own way when possible. A good example is you need to add keyboard shortcuts and all of that to users so that they can be able to know they can be able to do these things when they want to do it easily. So let's say I want to do Control Z. Instead of always going to search menu to find Control Z, I can easily just say, okay, Control Z, I can just click on it on my keyboard instead of doing all of those things, instead of trying to go to file method, to file menu and all of that. So you need to help them to be able to customize. It's also for Apple. If you notice, you can be able to customize your Android phone. You can change your wallpaper. You can do all of those things. So you need to give users flexibility to be able to do what they want to do. Now, the next principle is aesthetic and minimalist design. Now, in UI, your design needs to be fine, but very simple. You should not overload it with elements that don't contribute to a goal. Now, there are sometimes that you see different things that are not supposed to be there. Like you see different plenty things. All you need to do is to help your users. You need to give them simple designs that they would like. It's simple, clean, and readable. Like they don't need to do plenty things at once to be able to use it. Now, this is the ninth one. You need to help users recognize, diagnose, and recover from errors. Now, let's say I've actually made this mistake and I need to recover from these errors. You should be able to help me with your word. Remember yesterday, we chose a particular design as good because we were able to quickly move out from what we know. We're able to spot where the issue is coming from and not the plenty things and not the plenty routes to go and look for it. So there should always be a solution to help them solve their issues. Now we have the help and documentation. Now this is like one very important thing that we mostly ignore as product designers. So you see the part of FAQs, Aishat and Sugar, your hands are up.
Yes, your slide is a little bit too fast and the explanations don't sink in well. Maybe you should try take it slower.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
ma'am. Please.
Oh, okay. So I don't know why it's fast, but which part did you not get so that I'll come back?
Just when you are sliding it, I'm trying to get points and note it down, but before I'll be able to get points,
Oh,
you
okay.
slide
If
to
that's
the
the case,
next.
I'm also going to
That is
share this.
the 8
I'm
point.
I'm going to share the book.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to
No,
share the book. I have the plans of doing
that
that.
is 8 point. I can't.
Hello. So I can't hear you if you're saying something.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Because I have issue with the 8 point. I don't really get the explanation.
Okay. Is this help users to diagnose error?
No, I'm talking
Is
about
this one?
no, not that one. The one of this thing. Yes, this one.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say here is you need to give your users simple but fine designs. Now, I still remember that in our last class, there's a particular design that was so plenty. We had different buttons fighting for attention. Now, that's not a very simple design. A very simple design can be image, text, no plenty color. So I used to tell people that you don't need to add plenty colorful stuff to design before it's going to be fine. You just need to do it in your own way. Now, you don't need plenty decoration. Sometimes plenty decoration used to spoil something. So you just need to have a simple page that it's clean and readable, that users can easily focus on the tasks at hand. So if you want your users to log in, instead of putting pictures everywhere, I'm not saying pictures are bad, like you put picture here, put picture here, put picture here, and they are confused. You can just put your normal text input button, text field, and a button. That's very simple. So when we go into design you get to understand the difference between plenty.
Sorry, you're breaking
should
up.
I call it say, okay. Okay, so can any other person confirm? Let it not be like it's not my internet. It's not just.
Yes, you are.
I can hear you. Though you do break up at times. But
It's breaking out.
Oh, okay. I think it's network. Let me fix that. Okay, so I think now it's better.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So I'm saying instead of putting plenty things, to imagine if you want to cook soup, it's all about putting plenty things. And I'm not saying it's bad, but too much of plenty design needs to spoil the whole show. So just make it simple and clean. The whole focus should be users should be able to read it. They should follow the normal design principles. They should follow hierarchy. They should follow consistency. They should follow design layouts and all of that. Now, we have different types of layouts if you want to design. Now, let me use the landing page, for instance. We've all visited different landing pages, and there's something we get to realize is there's some landing pages that there will be pictures in the background, then there will be an overlay, then the button will be at the center, the text will be at the center. That's one form of landing page. If you go to another website, you would see where they have a picture at the left-hand side and they have their text at the right-hand side. They just put it at the button, everything will be there. Now, these are different layouts depending on which you want to use. But one thing is, no matter the layout you're following to design, just make it simple and easy and readable. Now, let's talk about help users to recognize, diagnose, and recover from errors. Now we know that errors are something that we cannot avoid, such as, like I use the bank for instance, where you want to recharge, and because you're not paying attention, you go and press 2,000 or 20,000 instead of 2,000 that you want to do. Now you've successfully done that. Now they should be able to help you to recover from that error. It can be like a button to just say if you did not want to recharge this exact amount, click on this link and convert the airtime back to money. That's like a feature they can use it to help you to recover from error, right? Now there's another thing which is the notes or the language you use to explain it. Instead of saying error 126777777C, like some people will do it, it is better you just say, okay, this is you did not put at this point, or you did not do this at this point. So that's what this means. You should be able to suggest the right solution to your users for them to be able to check that, okay, this is it, this is not it. Now, the next one is help and documentation. Now, what is help and documentation? Like I said, it's like helping your users to be able to ask questions without asking you questions. So I don't know, most of us have seen applications and websites where we have FAQs. Now, that is an example, or that's a way you can help your users. You just need to put a help section there where they can contact you if they need any problem. Or the best is to put FAQs. be able to answer most of their questions. It will make it easier for them. I'm coming to a platform that I have not used before. With FAQ, how can I use this? I would type, I'll just read through how I can use it and all of that. So by the time you put all of this, before your users will come to you, before they will call you, they've actually gotten the solution to the problem and in the help section before they would even call you to come. Now, sometimes you can put a form that they can fill, they can add their questions, they can do all of these things without bugging you with all of that. Now, one thing you need to know is my screen is moving. Now, like I said, you don't need to cram all of these things. You just need to know where it is used and where it is not used, and how you can effectively add it to your designs. So what this has taught me is, before I move on from a particular design, you can take time to just look at one design. Like, it's going to take you a lot of time to look at a design and be able to say, okay, this is what is wrong with it, this is what is not wrong with it. So I want us to do something. Who is joining this class with his or her phone, with his or her laptop?
I am.
Okay, so maybe you would okay, don't worry, let me share my screen first. So I want us to recommend different websites on the chat box. Recommend any websites. Any website that you've used, maybe you like it or you don't like it. So it should be a combination of websites that you don't like and website that you like. So with all of these that we've listed today, we'll just be noting down something. We'll go to the website, we'll note down some things and see what we can do. WA Business Audio. So someone should who is with the laptop. So you're going to share, sorry. Okay, so I'm muted because I'm waiting for more. It's not like I'm waiting for more suggestions. So we need like 5 so that we can be able to understand everything. So I am muted. So just suggest. We visit websites almost every day. Like we visit websites almost every day, so we should be able to do dribble.com. You know that Dribble is a design website, so let's not even go there because they will not feel all of these principles. While still open it, maybe you never can tell, but I know that Dribble is a design website, so you might not find all of this. Okay, live score. Okay, I think we are good now. So we'll be the ones doing most of the talking because, like we said, we understand. Okay, some of the sites can't be reached. Punching.com. Okay, so this is the last site we are going to use. Okay, Punch NG. I was wondering if you want to fight. Oh, okay. So we'll start with flex.com. So while I am on my system, I think every other person should open these websites, and because we more okay website. So let's start with the first part. Let's look at this. Is this me man? Is this mine? Is this me man? And tell me one thing. Can see it. Hello, we've been quite.
I'm with you here. I can see your screen.
Can see.
Okay, so I asked a question. Now let's use this first step, or we should use the principles one after the other. So the first one is communication. Let's look at this if they are communicating. Okay, so I not be able to know if they are really communicating because first the site opened really quick. Secondly is they are not selling any product. So
I can see your screen. Okay. Yes.
fine. But for me, I don't think this whole image, this background is necessary. This would have been better with some kind of outline on it and all of that. So let's leave that. Now, let's go to this is a minimal design. So what we need to do is please everybody just open the website. Remind tab. I might not find my own. Then I've noticed saying any tab that's saying help. Any tab that's saying help. Yeah, there's a button to go down. I can see different. Let's look at their icons. Choose your own screen. So this is following, this is matching between real life and yes, icon around the search. Yeah, that's correct. The that's not fully it's important not to be this thing into two before making this a button. Because this is a button and a button house. So this is big. So I've seen them. Okay, let's go. No one is saying anything. Choose work instance. Choose work in an instance. So for me, I don't feel comfortable with this tagline. It should be choose work from your app. Because understand that they are talking about the app itself. Nation, yeah, this is correct. This is my phone. Choose who work for you. Please, who knows this? Can you easily feel like this and this? I don't know, a hand pointing to different this.
No,
Come on, let's say
I don't
something. This
understand
class
the icon,
is
so I don't
I
think
didn't
I know about
like
the
to
icon
start.
thing.
Yeah, I'm keen the choose work in an instant can be replaced with instant work.
yes, that's work from your app. Talking about that an app whereas the time I tap in. See this last one, I can't even understand what they mean. Choose your contract. Yeah, this is okay because we know that once we hear contract, we see a paper here. So this is okay. This part is okay. Now let's go to this part. Hospitality. Do it for you and then we can easily get it for okay, yes. Documentation. This below so I can be able to read. I'm having issues with my account. This everything this thing now you can't still get enough information. You just need to. So what did we all notice from this? Two persons have said what I want to say. Maybe something that I did not see why scrolling down.
To me, it's passing the right message
Hello.
that it's a job app, have a website where you get to look for jobs and all. Although there were some misrepresentative when it comes to the icon and the heading, the head tag.
The colors, yeah, I wanted to say that like that color is giving.
Late. It is not too complicated that you get lost or overwhelming. Talk about the call to action.
Oh,
think that
no, you spoke about my slide, not sure. You've not actually talked like You know what I mean? It's you. It's you. I know your
They
voice.
talk a slide. I've only gave it that.
Oh, sorry. I've not heard so many persons' voice today. What is happening?
Okay, so let me see. It's not necessary. I thought that should be part of.
Their color, they just use one color and it's you can imagine over on top of it also. So this is the truth is we might not be able to do this now. So what I'm going to do now is what am I doing? So I'm going to give a simple task on the website. We are going to do like on the website. I am a simple task. So but before then, let's just